That's a good question. Someone asked me, how big was Ice-T, the rapper? You know, I go back with Ice-T, aka Tracy Morrow. I go back to when he was in Breaking. Actually, he had a record out back in 1981, which was produced ironically by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Everybody just thinks that Prince had them under lock and key, but they were already producing records, unbeknownst to working with him so early on in the career. So he goes back 40 plus years. He was in Breaking. That's before that perm had fully came out. Before the cover with him and his ex wife, and you already know the album cover, the Power cover, so I ain't got to say nothing there. But anyway, before 6 in the morning, before when he was doing Breaking and all that, before Colors came out, before he became a household name, before New Jack City, or OG Original Gangster, all that. Ice T was that dude, and he was big. Before the Rolling Stone cover, dressed up as a cop, before Body Count, before he had Dan Quill and everybody all run up on him. I'll give you a little tidbit. If you ever watch Home Alone 2, which ironically, because was it Home Alone? Oh, Home Alone. Yeah, Home Alone. It was Home Alone, not the 2. It was the 1. Because the Michael Jordan cut out. But if you watch the rooms, because you know how people used to do product placement, there's an Ice-T poster up there on the wall. So he'd obviously infiltrated the burbs. He was known. You know, I used to know cats who liked Ice-T, and he was a cool, contradictory cat. And when I say that, it's kind of like what Tupac and other rappers and people picked up on, because he had an ability to connect with being in your face, but with not being in your face. That's been one of the things about Ice-T's run that's been really, that especially at the early part, that he got away with stuff that other black rappers would have probably been held accountable for, been called out, and they've been called cap. And, you know, he had appeal without trying to have appeal, but yet had crossover appeal. Obviously, if you can do movies, no one held him being in Breaking against him. And they could have said, how street are you in a movie like this when you, even though it's turf and stuff, but he didn't have a heavy, compared to what his imagery was of colors and then, the pimp facade and the whole vibe he had. Because he predated Tupac as far as being from the East Coast originally, then taking on that West Coast culture. But he took it with the hair, the imagery, and the style. He predated that with what Ice Cube did, what DJ Quick did, what Dr. Dre did, and rolling what Too Short did. He brought that to life. So he was a one-man crew to what he did. And then, of course, now everybody know him for Law and Order SUV, because that's been on for 60 years. And you remember him in New York Undercover, which was classic episodes. But, and then Looters with him and Cube did different movies, New Jack City, all that. Stayed the true OG, did his thing, but yet had the respect of old school and message music and conscious music. So he was one of those guys, was pretty big and had an interesting story and learned his game and spoke the game. Still do. Very interesting cat, you know. And been able to turn that thing into a run. I mean, really. Doesn't really change much out of his stride, his cadence. But Ice-T still doing his thing. So that's just how I reflect on how big he was. If you think about him being a poster in one of the Home Alone movies and how big that was, and just thinking about that, Ice-T, Street Cat, blew up, all that. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership, because when you do, requests like this come true. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. I'll be back. And one more thing, he did that one commercial where he was with those girls talking about Ice-T. So he's got commercials too. Ice-T got around. I'm out.